1:14 a.m. Gulf of Oman, 58 nautical miles southeast of Muscat. 23 Iranian drones just crossed into the air defense perimeter of a U.S. carrier strike group. The lead drone struck the USS Leyte Gulf's radar array before the phalanx could track it. The Aegis cruiser lost her primary radar. What happened in the next 19 minutes was the most complex multi-ship air defense engagement the U.S. Navy has executed in the post-Cold War era. Welcome to Global Warfare TV. Tonight, we are reconstructing a mass drone attack on a U.S. carrier strike group, an attack that began with a single drone defeating the primary radar of the strike group's Aegis cruiser before the engagement even opened, degrading the air defense architecture of the entire formation at the worst possible moment. We are going through the full attack geometry, the weapon systems employed on both sides, how the strike group's remaining ships adapted their defense sectors after the radar loss, the engagement decisions made in real time by 4 separate commanding officers trying to coordinate without full situational awareness, and the single drone that came closest to reaching the carrier itself. This is what drone warfare at scale against a modern carrier strike group looks like. Let's get into it. The strike group's composition on the night of the attack: the USS Gerald R. Ford, CVN-78, 100,000 tons, 5,000 personnel, 70 aircraft embarked. As the core, the USS Leyte Gulf, CG-55, Ticonderoga-class guided missile cruiser, the strike group's air defense commander ship; the USS Nitsa, DDG-94, Arleigh Burke-class destroyer on the strike group's northern sector; the USS Farragut, DDG-99, Arleigh Burke-class destroyer on the southern sector; the USS Bainbridge, DDG-96, Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, positioned as the forward picket 18 nautical miles ahead of the carrier. 5 ships, 1 strike group, defending a moving airspace approximately 40 nautical miles in diameter, centered on the Ford. The threat: 23 drones of 2 types, 16 Shahed 136 loitering munitions, the kamikaze variant, 40-kilogram warhead, GPS-guided, 185 kilometers per hour; 7 Shahed 238 drones, a newer, faster variant. The Shahed 238 replaces the piston engine of the 136 with a small turbojet, increasing speed to approximately 350 to 400 kilometers per hour. It has a smaller radar cross-section than the 136 and is significantly more difficult for the phalanx's tracking radar to acquire at long range because of its higher speed combined with small size. The -238 is not a well-documented system. Intelligence assessments at the time of the engagement had flagged it as a probable development, but had not confirmed operational deployment. This was its operational debut. The attack was structured in 3 elements. The 7 Shahed 238 AS formed the first wave, faster, harder to track, designed to overwhelm and saturate the phalanx systems in the strike group's forward defense layer. They were also specifically aimed at radar systems rather than hull penetration. Their approach vectors had been programmed, analysis of their final flight path showed, to target the AN/SPY-1B radar arrays on the Leyte Gulf and the AN/SPY-1D arrays on the Bainbridge. Not the ship's hulls, their eyes. The 16 Shahed 136 formed the second and third waves, timed to arrive after the -2. 3/8 had degraded the strike group's sensors and close-in defenses. At 1:04 a.m., the Bainbridge, forward picket, detected the first radar contacts at 43 nautical miles. She identified 7 small, fast contacts, the Shahed 238s, and reported to the Leyte Gulf as Air Defense Commander. The contacts were moving at approximately 380 kilometers per hour and were assessed as fast UAVs. The Leyte Gulf's CIC classified them immediately and began computing SM-2 and ESSM, Evolved Sea Sparrow Missile, engagement solutions. The ESSM is a shorter range, more maneuverable missile than the SM-2, designed for engagements against fast-moving targets close to the ship. The Leyte Gulf cued 3 ESSM launches against the lead 238s at 1:07 a.m. She fired at 1:07:34. What happened next was a failure mode that the ESSM's designers had modeled, but the strike group's crew had not specifically trained against. The Shahed 238's small radar cross-section, a function of its composite body and reduced engine exhaust signature, caused 2 of the 3 ESSM seekers to lose their targets during terminal phase. The missiles passed without intercept. The 3rd ESSM achieved a kill on 1 Shahed 238 at 31 nautical miles. 6 Shahed 238s remaining, continuing inbound. At 1:09 a.m., the Bainbridge fired 4 SM-2s from her forward VLS. SM-2 against a target moving at 380 kilometers per hour is a comfortable engagement. The missile's speed margin over target gives the seeker and guidance system significant time to correct. 2 SM-2s achieved kills. 2 missed. Again, the small radar cross-section caused late-phase seeker degradation on both shots. 4 Shahed 238s remaining. Range to the Leyte Gulf, 19 nautical miles. At 1:10:44 a.m., the lead Shahed 238 crossed inside the Leyte Gulf's phalanx engagement envelope at approximately 2,100 meters. The phalanx forward fired a 1.8-second burst. The round density from the phalanx's 4,500 round per minute rate is optimized against targets traveling at speeds representative of cruise missiles, Mach 0.8 to Mach 2. Against a target at 380 kilometers per hour, approximately Mach 0.3, the tracking radar computes a very different intercept solution. The burst hit the Shahed 238 a glancing blow, enough to damage it but not immediately destroy it. The drone pitched downward, losing altitude, but maintained its programmed guidance for approximately 4 more seconds. It impacted the Leyte Gulf's AN/SPY 1B radar array housing, the large flat-faced phased array panel on the ship's forward superstructure, at 1:10:51 a.m. The 40-kilogram warhead detonated against the radar's structural housing. The AN/SPY 1B array itself, the antenna elements, was severely damaged. The processing units behind the array took fragmentation damage. The Leyte Gulf's primary air search radar went offline at 1:10:53 a.m. In the 15 seconds it took the strike group to register and react to the loss of the Leyte Gulf's radar, 2 more Shahed 238s reached their targets. 1 impacted the Bainbridge's AN/SPS 67 surface search radar housing, a lesser sensor than the SPY-1D, but the drone's programming had been less precise and it had hit a secondary target rather than the SPY-1D array. The Bainbridge's SPY-1D was unaffected. The second Shahed 238 was destroyed by the Bainbridge's phalanx aft at 400 meters. The 4th Shahed 238 was engaged by the Nietzsche's SM-2 at 23 nautical miles and killed. 4 Shahed 238s expended, 3 of which had achieved some level of strike effect. The Leyte Gulf's primary radar was down. The second wave, 9 Shahed 136, was now 22 minutes out. This is where the engagement entered its most complex phase. The Leyte Gulf, the strike group's designated air defense commander, was now operating with degraded sensors. Her backup radar systems, the AN/SPS-49 air search radar and the AN/SPS 67 surface search, were intact, but they lacked the AN/SPY 1B's integration with the Aegis combat system. The Leyte Gulf could still fight. She could not fight as the integrated hub she had been 90 seconds earlier. The Ford's CO and the strike group commander, a rear admiral embarked on the Ford, made the critical command decision at 1:11:30 a.m. he redistributed air defense responsibility. The NHTSA, operating with a fully functional AN/S-PY-1D, assumed air defense commander duties for the strike group's northern and western sectors. The Farragut assumed southern sector. The Bainbridge maintained the forward picket with her own SPY-1D. The Leyte Gulf, operating on backup sensors, was assigned the immediate defense of the fort itself, positioned 4 nautical miles off the carrier's port beam, close enough for her ESSM and phalanx systems to be effective even without full Aegis capability. This redistribution took 4 minutes and 22 seconds from command to confirmed execution across all 4 ships. The second wave arrived at 1:16 a.m. 9 Shahed 136 coming in from the northwest in a loose spread formation, 500 to 800 meters between each drone. They were at 150 feet altitude, GPS guided, heading for the ford. The NHTSA engaged first. Her SM-2 batteries began working through the formation at 22 nautical miles. SM-2 against the Shahed 136 is an expensive but effective engagement. The Dash 136's piston engine provides a strong thermal and radar return compared to the Dash 238. The NHTSA killed 4 with 6 SM-2 shots, 5 remaining. The Bainbridge engaged from the flank, 2 SM-2 shots, 2 kills. 3 remaining Shahed 136, now inside 8 nautical miles of the ford. The 3 remaining drones were engaged by the ford's own phalanx systems. The carrier has 3 phalanx CIWS. 2 of the 3 incoming drones were destroyed by the forward and starboard phalanx at ranges between 800 and 1,400 meters. The third drone, the last of the second wave, was engaged by the starboard phalanx at 1:17:44 a.m. The burst was partially effective. The drone's engine was destroyed, but its guidance system and warhead remained intact. The drone pitched forward in a dive from approximately 600 meters altitude, 150 feet, and impacted the water 68 meters off the ford's starboard side. The 40-kilogram warhead detonated in the water. The underwater pressure wave struck the ford's hull. Damage assessment: no flooding. Minor vibration damage to a secondary pump in the engineering plant. 2 sailors near the starboard sponson were thrown against the deck by the pressure wave. 1 sustained a sprained wrist. 1 was uninjured. The carrier's hull had held, but 68 meters had been the margin. The third wave, 7 more Shahed 136, arrived at 1:22 a.m. By then, the strike group's air defense coordination had significantly improved as the new sector assignments solidified and the NHTSA's radar picture was being shared via Link 16 data network to all ships. The third wave was engaged at longer range, the NHTSA and Farragut working the formation from 18 nautical miles down. All 7 drones in the third wave were destroyed before reaching 3 nautical miles from the ford. The engagement ended at 1:33 a.m. Total duration, 19 minutes. Total Iranian drones employed, 23. Total destroyed, 21. 2 had achieved strike effects. 1 radar array destroyed on the Leyte Gulf, 1 secondary radar damaged on the Bainbridge. 1 drone had impacted the water 68 meters from the ford. The carrier was operational. Her air wing launched at 2:15 a.m. as scheduled. The post-engagement assessment produced findings that were circulated at the highest classification levels within 24 hours. The Shahed 238's demonstrated ability to defeat SM-2 and ESSM terminal seekers through its low radar cross-section was a significant new data point. Prior to this engagement, the -238 had been a theoretical capability. Now it was a documented operational system with confirmed performance characteristics against U.S. naval defense systems. The seeker degradation problem on the SM-2 and ESSM against small, slow targets, characterized internally as the terminal LCS problem, using LCS as shorthand for low cross-section, was flagged as requiring urgent attention in the next round of software updates to the Aegis system. The decision to target radar systems rather than hulls was assessed as a significant doctrinal shift in IRGCN drone employment. Previous drone attacks against the USS, the Sullivans, and others had targeted the ships themselves. This attack had targeted the formation's ability to see. Blinding the Aegis cruiser before the main swarm arrived was a more sophisticated concept of operations than anything the IRGCN had previously demonstrated. Naval War College analysis of the attack structure identified the engagement as the first documented case of IRGCN forces employing a kill chain disruption strategy against a U.S. carrier strike group, attacking the sensors and command nodes rather than the capital ship directly. The Leyte Gulf underwent emergency repairs at a U.S. naval facility in Bahrain. The AN/SPY-1B array housing and several array elements were replaced. She was back at full capability within 19 days. 3 sailors from the Leyte Gulf who had been near the impact point of the lead, Shahed 238, were treated for blast concussion. None required medevac. All 3 returned to duty. The Ford's Air Wing launched 12 sorties over the following 24 hours. The strike group continued its mission. The Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman remained the same as they always are: contested, dangerous, and watched. In the intelligence community, the post-engagement analysis circulated with a note that has been quoted in multiple classified reviews since. This attack demonstrated that IRGCN drone operators have moved from harassment to suppression of air defense. The distinction matters. A harassment attack is designed to annoy. A suppression attack is designed to enable something that comes next. What comes next is the question. The Ford's crew knew what 68 meters felt like. They knew what a degraded radar picture felt like. They know now, in a way they could not have known before 1:14 a.m., what a sophisticated drone campaign against a carrier strike group is designed to do. And they are not the only ones who learned from that night. Global Warfare TV covers the inflection points in modern naval warfare that rewrite doctrine. Subscribe for the operational analysis that goes this deep. Hit the notification bell and leave your assessment below. After the Leyte Gulf's radar went down, the Rear Admiral redistributed air defense sectors to the 3 functioning destroyers. Was that the right call, or should the carrier itself have been maneuvered out of the formation to reduce its exposure while the defense was reconstituted, because the Ford held position? That decision gets debated. Stay vigilant, stay informed. I'll see you in the next one.